Okay, all right, okay. It has started recording. Okay, Assalamualaikum again. All right, for those who are watching this recording afterwards, okay, uh, please take note that there is another video, and this is the second video, all right, because there are two briefings in total, all right. Okay, but before we start today's briefing, okay, just to recap on a few things, right? Okay, some things that are already mentioned during the previous briefing. Okay, for example, like how I am going to award you guys marks for this project. Okay, there are three criteria if you still remember. Okay, one is your slides, second is your briefing, sorry, your briefing, I'm the one giving you briefing. Okay, your presentation, and third is Q&A. All right, question and answer lah. Okay. But the part that consists most of the marks is actually the presentation. No problem. I mean, okay. All right, okay. The part that consists the most mark is the presentation. Okay, you will get marks for slides and Q&A, but not as much as the presentation part lah. Okay, so if you are not present, like I said, no, I didn't say it. I'm going to explain afterwards during this briefing. Okay, if you are not present, later I'll let you guys know in depth lah, secara detail, lebih detail about the flow of the presentation. Okay, but just to recap on the marks. Okay, there are marks for your slides. Okay, so meaning that if you because I'm speaking on experience from my form 2 because they started earlier. Okay, and actually they have started their first presentation day last Thursday, which is yesterday lah. Okay, yesterday. Okay, and supposedly they supposed to submit all their slides by last Sunday. Okay, but until yesterday, the presentation day, I only received only 13 slides. Okay, in total from 72 students, because I'm teaching form 2 classes. Okay. Even though I said slides don't really consist as much marks as the presentation itself, okay, but still it's marks, kan? Okay, so if possible, try to um, um, obey the deadline lah, okay? So you guys, I will give the deadline afterwards, okay, because maybe we will have to adjust the deadline because yalah, our briefing today is supposed to be on Tuesday, okay, which was a holiday. Okay, so kita anjak sikit lah, okay, kita punya deadline. Okay, all right, okay, so we're going to start with today's briefing. I just want to recap on the marks lah, okay, so that you realize, okay, that the marks are actually okay, your slides and your presentation and your Q&A consist of separate marks. Okay, all right, okay, now we're going to your presentation briefing. Okay, but before that, another thing. Okay, I don't remember whether I've mentioned this during the previous briefing. Okay, but this project is for your end year PBD. Okay, pentaksiran bilik gajah lah. Okay, and just to make you guys realize, okay, we are still in the PDPR. Okay, and we don't know whether next month, okay, you guys are going back to school or not. Okay, and don't ask me lah, because I also don't have the answer to that, because the ministry has said akan dibuka October, the latest news, but dia ada the word berperingkat. Okay, so I assume maybe they will prioritize the exam classes, okay, form 6 and form 5. Okay, so just imagine, okay, I'm not making any statement here, okay, I'm just I want you guys to imagine, let's say school doesn't reopen for this year. Okay, you guys are form 3 students, you know. Okay, dah lah, PT3 already cancelled. Okay, and we don't know whether school will reopen or not for you guys. Okay, form 3. Okay, and we don't know also whether there will be an end year exam, because so far you don't have any exams. Hari tu kononnya nak buat and then suddenly cancel. Okay, because JPN keluar ke arahan, we cannot test you guys yet. Okay, so for whatever reason, I don't know why. Okay, so there's no PT3, no exam. Let's say no exam, just imagine. So what is going to become your benchmark or your what do you call, satu kayu ukur untuk you pergi ke form 4? Okay, because your form 4 you will be separated into courses. Ada science stream, non-science stream. Okay, last 2 years kot. Last 2 years, I think this thing I already mentioned in class. Okay, form 3 2 tahun lepas, when they want to go to form 4, okay, since there was no PT3, what we had to do last year lah kan? Last year or last 2 year? I'm not really good with numbers, but never mind. Okay. So we had to look at the periksa akhir tahun PAT for the form 2 and also look at their exam from form 1. Okay, so banyak benda yang kena tengok since dah tak ada exam. Okay, so imagine you guys without any exam. Okay, so the PBD is one thing to look at. Okay, so last year. So what I'm trying to say here is jangan ambil ringan lah benda PBD ni. Okay, sebab benda ni dia akan jadi macam satu benda tunggal. Let's say if you don't have any kind of assessment by the end of this year. Okay, so benda ni lah akan jadi satu benda untuk diukur. Okay, most probably lah. Like I said, I'm not making any statement. Okay, just to make you realize lah. Okay, and I'm doing this project because, like I said, this is something that consists of all your skills. It will consist of your reading skills because you read to look for information. Okay, it consists of your writing skills because you write in the slides. Okay, I will look at the grammar and whatsoever. Okay, and it consists of your listening and speaking also. Okay, because that's the presentation part, and you have the Q&A part where you have to listen carefully to what people ask you and how you respond to it. So it consists every skill, English skill. Okay, all right. So I'm taking this as your end year PBD secara keseluruhan lah. Okay, so that's why I'm hoping everyone does their best for this project. Okay. All right. So without further delay, it's already 11:45. Okay. I plan not to take too long lah. Okay, for this briefing. It's just that I don't want to make the previous briefing too long. So I split into half. Okay. So the presentation briefing, I will start by, okay, see ini sebenarnya. Okay, I thought this is this particular slide is in the previous briefing. Okay, it's actually here. Okay, so this is what I was explaining just now actually. Okay. All right. Your marks will be divided into 3 categories: your slides, your presentation, and your Q&A session. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to show you just in case. I don't know whether you had any experience throughout the year with the other subjects presenting on Google Meet. Okay. But this is how you do it lah. Okay. Just in case you already know, just listen lah. Okay, so if you notice, okay, here on the right, you can see actually, okay, this part is already blue because I'm presenting right now. Okay, but if you are not presenting, it will look like this. Okay, so you press on this button, okay, and then this comes out. Okay, and then you have the option, 3 options here, but usually I will choose your entire screen. Okay, why? Because sometimes I jump to another browser and then jump to a PowerPoint slide and then jump here and there. So it's easier to just present your entire screen instead of a window or a tab. Okay, all right. I never actually tried a window or a tab. Okay, I usually just present the entire screen. Okay, because you can see the cursor moving. Whatever I want to share I want to point at is easier to show. Okay, and then when you have clicked on your entire screen, this will come out. Okay, that's why sometimes you have to wait for me for a few moments for the screen to be shown on your screen because I'm doing this. Okay, after I click on that, this will come out. You click here, you see the arrow here, and then you click here, share, and then your screen will be showed to everyone. Okay, everyone else who are in the Google Meet session. Okay, all right. So, what if you don't have a PC? Okay, you just have your phone. Okay, it's not impossible. Okay, you can also present. If you notice, even on your phone, you have this button, okay, just to show. Okay. All right. If you don't know, those who are using your phone, you have this menu. Okay. And then you have this button here, share screen. Okay. If you are using, no matter if you are using a PC or your phone, okay, my advice for you is if your turn is on that particular day, don't wait for your name to be called to open your PowerPoint. Okay, no matter on your phone or on your PC, your phone pun opens itself, and then you can keep it in your recent apps, right? Okay, so keep it there, okay, because it will definitely save time. Okay, because if I call your name, you can just click on share screen, and then you if you're on your phone, kan, you just click on this button right here, okay, to show your recent app, and you you switch to the other app. Okay, for example, if you are using WPS Office, right? I recommend WPS Office because I'm using that. Okay, so after you press share screen, everyone will see your screen, and then you go to your recent apps, and then your presentation is here. This is WPS Office, and here, if I zoom in, this is actually a slide. Preserve Works ni I ajar you guys ke form 2 hari tu, I forgot. I think you guys got, okay. This slide is actually open on WPS Office, okay. Alright, and I actually did these slides on phone, okay. I don't know whether I mentioned or not. I prefer actually doing my work on my phone. Cuma untuk Google Meet sahaja, Google Meet sessions, classes, I will use my laptop, okay. Alright, but I think it's easier because my phone is always with me and I'm too lazy to open my laptop sebenarnya. Okay, alright, okay, so before we go to the next slide, okay, so any questions regarding this? How to present? How to actually present either on laptop or phone? I think this thing you can maybe experiment with a friend or maybe a family member. Okay, like for example, just sharing. Okay, the before the very first time I did a Google Meet session with you guys, if you remember the first year of PKP, mula-mula PKP tahun lepas dulu tu, I bagi latihan saja kan. Okay, because I was afraid of using Google Meet. I sebenarnya takut juga dengan teknologi. Okay, and then before I had our first Google Meet session, actually I experimented with my wife sebenarnya. I install Google Meet on her phone. Okay, I duduk satu tempat lain, and then dia duduk tempat yang lain, and then barulah I get familiar with using it. Okay, so what you guys can do is you can also try to experiment maybe with your brother or sister or maybe your parents whenever they are free. Okay, to do this. Okay. All right. So don't say it's impossible. Okay. If you don't have a laptop, you can do it on your phone. Okay. Yesterday, even during the presentation with my Form 2, the first day of presentation, two of them, no, three of them use their phone. Only one use PC. Okay. So it's not impossible. All right. Okay. So moving on, if there are not any questions. Okay. So, okay. So I'll uh I'll leave this year, but actually the date will be different lah, not on the 7th of September. Okay. Uh Starting on the presentation day inside 7, it's when 7. Okay. We will have to change this date. Why? Okay, 7th of September, because next week, if you guys notice in the Form 3 group, WhatsApp group, it's already posted that next week there will be an English program throughout the week. Okay, so I think that Form 3 will be on Wednesday. Okay, but since all the English teachers will be involved during the program throughout the week, okay, Form 1 is on Monday, Form 2 is on Tuesday, and so on. Okay, so during our classes next week, okay, so Form 3 is on Tuesday and Friday, right? Okay, so since the program will use the other teachers' classes, okay, so they will be taking over the English class on next week. Okay, so for Form 3, I think it's PSV and BM, during PSB and BM punya time on that Wednesday. So on Tuesday and Friday, our English class next week, they will take over either BM on Tuesday or PSB on Tuesday. I'm not sure yet. Yang tu antara mereka nak pilih lah. Okay, so our presentation might start the week after that, okay, which is on 14. Okay. I think there's a holiday kot. I tak tahu bila nanti I check balik. So I'm not going to change this. I'm just going to leave it there. But I told you right. Okay, so maybe it will be after the English program next week. Okay, all right. So during if you are not clear about this slide, okay, just listen first. Afterwards, I'm going to show an example to make it clearer. Okay, so during the first slot, okay, there will be a few slots. Okay, there are 43 of you. Okay, so I decided for one slot, there will be only 11 students. Okay, so let's say on the 14th, okay, is the first slot. Only 11 students will be presenting, but not really all of the students will present. Like for example, like yesterday with my Form 2, only 5 managed to present until the end of the class. Okay. To be honest, even though I would like to hear everyone's presentation, but it's almost impossible lah. Okay. So okay, what do you mean by slot? I baru je mula. Okay, wait until I finish this page, this slide first, and then I'll open for questions. Okay. All right. Only selected students from the 11 student list will present on that day. Volunteers are welcome from the same slot. Okay, so like I said, from the first slot, only 11 students will present. Okay, and I will select one by one. Okay, katalah ada 11 orang ni, I will choose siapa-siapa sahaja from that 11 students. But before I call, I will call for any volunteers first. Okay, sebab apa? Sebab I takut lagi, like yesterday with my Form 3, mereka lagi ramai, 72 orang. So I had to set one slot 13, you guys 11 sebab you guys dua kelas sahaja. Okay, so out of that 13, hanya 5 sahaja yang present. Okay, so I takut lagi ada for example for example like Amin, for example is tomorrow, first slot, and then I don't call Amin and dia dah buat dah dia punya slide, okay, dah buat cantik-cantik dah tapi dia tak dipanggil. So to avoid anyone feeling macam kecewa ke apa, disappointed because they don't present what they have already, their hard work, okay, so I open for any volunteers. You rasa you dah penat-penat buat slide cantik-cantik and you want to share with your friends, you want to present it, volunteer. But you can only volunteer for your slot only. Okay. All right. Mizan, lagi I akan explain what does the slot mean. Okay, I will show the first slot afterwards. Okay. So only people from the 11 students tu sahaja yang boleh volunteer on that particular day. Okay. Alright. Sebab apa? Sebab not all the 11 students will manage to finish their presentations in that one day. Okay. All right. Okay. Number 3. Those not selected to present will still get marks, but whoever I call during their slot and no response will be deducted marks. Okay. All right. This part. This is the important part to understand. Okay. Like I said, okay, it's nearly impossible to, not impossible lah. Okay. Boleh je I nak buat semua present, tapi bila nak habis kan. Okay. I plan this just will use up to 2 to 3 weeks. Kalau I nak make sure everyone presents, it will maybe consume more than that. So I don't want to take too long for this project. Lagi ada juga yang complain lagi, cikgu tak mengajar ke apa pula. I don't want that. Okay, so we will use just 2 or maybe 3 weeks maximum. Okay, so I will call, let's say out of that 11 students, okay, I will call one by one. Okay, and then katalah that student, there's no response. I will, like yesterday, I called the name 3 times only. Tak ada respond, tak kira dia tak, that student is not ready to present or not in the Google Meet session. Okay, he will not get marks. Okay, for the presentation part. Okay kan, I dah kata tadi kan, marks are split into 3. Okay, slides, presentation, and Q&A. Okay, if you are not present, you tak hadir, okay, tanpa sebab yang munasabah lah, or you hadir tapi you are not ready for whatever reason, I don't want to listen anymore during that time, because by that time sepatutnya semua dah siap dah. Okay, because I think I gave enough time for you guys to finish whatever I ask you guys to do lah. Okay, so what happens to those yang tak sempat I panggil on that day? Okay, so this is some sort of like more like nasib. Okay, dia bermain dengan nasib lah. Okay, those who are not called will still get marks, but those who I call and do not appear will be deducted marks. So jangan complain lah. Okay, kawan you tak present sebab dia tak dipanggil tapi dia dapat markah tinggi. Alright, and you dipanggil tapi you tak hadir atau tak siap and you tak dapat markah tinggi. You cannot complain about that. Okay, so it's luck. Okay, kalau dia tak sempat dipanggil, alright, because like yesterday ada seorang yang tak sempat dipanggil, tapi sebenarnya bila I check dia tak hadir pun. Okay, tapi that's his luck lah, because he was not called during yesterday's slot. Okay, so about number 3, afterwards if you are still not clear, ask me afterwards, but let me finish first. Okay, number 4, if you if you missed your slot, you cannot transfer to a different slot. Okay, so this is also important to remember. Don't think that, okay, if your slot is on the 14, okay, and you are not ready by that time, oh, okay, I tak apa, I boleh present on the 17, on the Friday. No, that cannot happen. Because on this 17, there will be another different 11 students. And you are not allowed to volunteer. Even nak volunteer pun tak boleh on that day. Like I said here, volunteers are welcome, but only from that slot only. Okay? Alright, this is just to appreciate your hard work. Okay, sebab I takut lagi ada yang kecil hati. Okay, sebab dah buat penat-penat tapi tak dipanggil untuk present. Okay, so I don't want that, because I know most of you are very hardworking students. Okay, alright. Okay, and last, students not listed in the slot on a particular day, okay, must still be present for Q&A. Okay, so like I said, there will be a Q&A. Alright, but to save time, okay, not that I don't want to open for everyone to ask, okay, but to save time, because I want to make sure that if not all, but most of you get a chance to present, okay, and to avoid anyone from secara tak sengaja, secara sengaja to say, yalah, secara sengaja tak hadir Google Meet, because you are not in the, okay, you are not in the slot for that day. You rasa macam, oh, I'm not in the slot for the first day, so I don't have to be present. No, don't think like that. You still have to be present to become the audience, because on that day, for each presentation, okay, I akan pilih, okay, not you select. I will select anyone, okay, randomly from the whole list. Maksudnya daripada semualah. List of all the students, not the 11 students. Anyone can be selected to ask the presenter one question. Okay, so one question will only be asked to one presenter. Okay, all right. But if let's say you are not present because you think that you are not presenting on that day, okay, you will be deducted marks. Q&A ni dia markah untuk dua-dua orang. Okay, not only for the presenter, but also for the one asking the question. Orang yang tanya soalan tu ada markah dia, orang yang ni pun ada markah dia, orang yang menjawab, yang presenter tu pun ada markah dia untuk Q&A. Alright, so you have to get ready. Okay, alright. So before I open for Q&A, if you want to ask any question, I'll show you the first slot. Okay, so this is not the date, the real date. Okay, this is not the real date. Okay, so this is the actual first slot. Okay, this is actually taken from the name list that I have, combining both of your classes, and I put into alphabetical order. Okay, so these are the first 11 in the list. Okay, so as you can see, ada yang green, ada red ni to distinguish the different classes lah sebenarnya. Okay, so just as an example, okay, on that day, I first call from the bottom. Okay, so because like yesterday, what happened was I akan pilih ikut suka hati I lah, from the top ke, from the bottom ke, from the middle or randomly. But yesterday I chose to call from the bottom. Okay, so let's say I call Fazal. Okay, I call Fazal. First, second, third, still tak hadir. Tak ada respon. Okay, so I will move on to Fatih Nazwan. Okay, so what will happen to Fazal? He will not get marks for his presentation. Dia mungkin, Fazal mungkin dia hantar dia punya slide tu I. Okay, dia dapat markah untuk slide. But he will definitely not get marks for his presentation part. Okay. So if I call Fatih also no response, I will move on to the third person and so on. And let's say until the end of, okay, let's say katalah Iris Nasahan present, Zikri present, Haziq present, and the three of them presented quite long. Okay, and then Haziq present, habis dah waktu. Okay, so Adib, Afiq, Adam dengan Rahmat dengan Haziq, Abdul Haziq Muhammad, I tak sempat call on that day. So what happens to them? Okay, so remember what I said. This 11 will not go to a different day. Okay, so yang depa ni, yang atas ni yang I tak panggil ni, they will get marks for presenting walaupun tak present. So it's a game of luck lah. Okay, alright. Okay, so that's totally up to you lah. Kalau you rasa macam you yakin, oh sir takkan panggil aku, so aku tak nak present. Okay, so takut aku tak panggil, sir tak panggil, so I akan dapat markah. So that's totally up to you lah. Okay, but if I call you and you are not ready, so you will not get marks. So that's how it's going to be. Okay, and so and then last about the Q&A. Okay, let's say during Zikri's presentation, okay, I will call anyone to ask him just one question. It can be anyone from here. It can be anyone not from here. Okay, all right. Let's say like Mizan is not in the first slot kan. Okay, so I can call Mizan to ask Zikri a question. And Zikri has to answer lah. And I pesan siap-siap, please ask any question related to the place that Zikri is presenting. Okay, but don't ask any nonsense questions lah. For example, like if Zikri is presenting about Paris, for example, okay, don't ask questions like saja nak anaknya kawan lah. Okay, what is the total population of Paris? Total population kot. Okay, I pun tak boleh nak jawab. Okay, so try to ask questions like what is the popular food at Paris? Okay, just one question to save time. Okay, bukan I tak nak open to a lot of questions, but this is just to save time. Okay, alright. Okay, so any questions so far? Okay, so I think Mizan did. I think I already made it clear about what does a slot mean. But besides that, any more questions?
No, sir.
Sir, ada sir.
Ada ke tak ada?
Kalau macam waktu tu saya panggil, lepas tu dia jadi masalah ke mic rosak apa ke?
Okay, alright. That is something that actually happened yesterday. Okay, there was one student who had a problem with his microphone, but luckily lah, in the middle of his presentation, tiba-tiba suara dia kuat. Okay, so what I did was I asked him to still present walaupun tak bersuara. Okay, so because we don't I don't want to give you no marks for presentation. Because that boy yesterday, he was ready with his presentation. Cuma dia pelik kenapa suara dia tak dengar. He was speaking but no one could hear. Dia siap tulis dalam chat, tak dengar ke saya cakap sir. Memang I kata memang tak dengar. And his friends also responded that memang tak dengar. Okay. So to avoid from, yelah, you want me to give you marks. So instead of not doing anything, at least you show us what you did lah. Okay. Your slides yang you dah usahakan tu. Okay, so at first I wanted him to just show maybe a few seconds on the first slide, a few seconds on the second slide sampai habis. Okay, and then suddenly tengah-tengah boleh dengar suara dia. So to answer that question, okay, Fatih kan tanya tadi kan. So katalah ada technical problem on that day, I will think of something lah, penyelesaian. Okay, kalau ni Kalau katalah berlaku. Okay, Fazal, if the person didn't ask question, does my mark be deduct to? Oh, okay. All right. That also actually happened yesterday. Okay. Fazal, do you mean that if I call someone and that person doesn't respond ke macam mana?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, alright. Okay. Yalah, sebab I will call not based on the list here tau. Mana ada list of ni kan people here. I will call based on a name list that I have. Yang ni I crop daripada list tu lah sebenarnya. Okay, one reason because not all of you but most of you use your names. Tapi I will call based on the list that I have. Okay, and if let's say that person is not in the meeting, I will move on to a second person until someone asks you a question. So don't worry. Okay.
If he didn't have any questions, sir. He didn't have
Okay,
a
if that
question.
person responds and he doesn't have a question, okay, tak berlaku lagi lah yang tu. Okay, we'll see if that happens. Okay, maybe yalah sebab benda ni melibatkan markah you juga kan as the presenter. Okay, so maybe I will deduct marks from that person. Yalah dia respond tapi mungkin tak tahulah, mungkin sebab dia tak focus on the presentation at all. Dia tak tahu nak tanya apa kan Fazal kan. Okay, so maybe I'll move
Yes,
on to
yes.
another person. Maybe another person who has any, or maybe I will by that time, yalah, to save time, maybe I will call for any volunteers to ask. Or maybe a simple solution is I will ask the question. Okay. All right. So don't worry lah as the presenter. You will definitely answer a question. Okay. All right. Okay. Ikhwan. Okay. The URL link must be in the slides. Okay. No, it doesn't have to be. Okay. But you can put it if you want. All right. It doesn't have to be, but you can put it if you want. Okay. Because the the next I tak buat lagi untuk you guys. Alright. By the way, this is the total submission for the first data collection where I asked the names of the place. Okay, 36 so far. Okay, tapi yang ni pun mungkin ada yang jawab 2 kali. I don't know. I tak check lagi. Okay, regarding about the, okay, if you notice last Sunday I tak naik pun miss submission list because I decided for this project will not go into your miss submission list. Okay, but it will go into your PBD lah, of course. Okay. So don't worry about if because maybe some of you are waiting every Sunday secara setia kan, miss submission list naik ke tak nama aku ni. Okay, so just to let you guys know, earlier I decided for this project I will not use the miss submission list. Okay, but you still have to submit lah. Okay, so how the second submission will look like? Saya banyak sangat benda ni. Okay, I will show you the form 2. Okay, this one good. How the form will look like. Okay, because Ikwan just now asked, do you have to include the URL or not? Okay, so this is how the, okay, dah naik dah. Yes, just now I said 13 kan, so now 17. Okay, so here this thing I will share with you guys afterwards, but I will give a deadline lah. Bukan kata I give this today, hari ni juga kena hantar. No, okay, don't worry. Okay, so here you will upload your PowerPoint slide here. Okay, all right, you just click on add file. Okay, I'll show you how it looks like lah as the student. Okay, preview. Okay, this is how you look at the form. Okay, you put your full name here, your class. Okay, ni sebab form 2. This is the form 2. Okay, so you click on add file. Okay, and then you select file from your device and upload. Okay, so you select the PPT or PPTX file lah and upload. Okay, all right. Okay, and then if let's say you are using any PowerPoint presentation provider that doesn't allow you to download, okay, that day Canva someone said boleh download. Okay, Prezi, I'm not sure. Okay, like I said, don't ask me anything about Prezi and Canva. I don't have any experience. Okay, so I'm sure that if you cannot download, you can share the URL. So this one, you don't have to answer both questions. Okay, if you already uploaded here, you don't have to give the URL. Ignore this question. Okay. But if you cannot upload, you give the URL here. Okay. Either way. Okay. And to answer Ikwan's question just now, all your URL you put here. www.what here, and then you put another link afterwards. Okay, separate with comma ke apa ke afterwards kan, like contoh. Okay, okay, and then comma www. Because you cannot enter here. Boleh. Alah, okay, okay, okay. So enter, and you just or you can put a dash here to make it clearer. Okay, for all the URLs that you use for reference. If you have one lah. If you have more than one, list as all the URLs of the websites that you use for reference. Okay, one thing to add. Okay, because this is a problem with my form 2. Maybe this will happen to you guys also. Some of my students complain that they cannot upload here on the Google form. I don't know why, okay? But I still prefer that you submit here so it's easier for me to trace, okay? Because I can generate the data of the submissions on Google form easier, okay? Because ada seorang tu dia tunjuk kat I, okay? When he click on add file, this doesn't appear. Dia kosong je, putih je, okay? So if you face any problems on submitting your PowerPoint on Google Form, okay, I'm going to give you another option to submit. Okay, but you don't have to do both. Don't do both. Okay, kalau kata you dah submit here, you don't have to submit there. Okay, all right. Another option that I'm going to give is, okay, for you to submit on your Google Classroom. Okay, I tak buka siap-siap tadi, lupa. Okay, alright. For example, like my form 2. Okay, you guys have been submitting essays to me. Alright. Okay, and you have attached your, I open siap-siap lah besar sikit. Okay, you have attached your screenshots of your essays many times already. So I don't have to explain to you how to attach any attachments. Okay, so far here, 8 turn in their slides here. All right, because maybe these 8 have problems uploading to Google Form. Okay, as you can see, this is the file. Okay, some in PDF, some in PPT. Okay, all right. Kadang-kadang some people dia convert to PDF sebab tak nak anything format lari ke apa ke. Okay, so just to show you an example of a submission. Okay. Okay, so this is just an example. So this student did about New York. Okay, just to give you a view on an actual example of a submission lah. Okay, so he did New York and some brief background of New York, what we can do at New York, when is the suitable time to visit. Okay, quite okay, well, quite small okay. The font, things to do, things to avoid doing. This student should separate these two into two different slides lah sebenarnya. Dia jadi kecil ni. Okay, other information and the conclusion. So this is an example of a submission. Okay, alright. Okay, so if you cannot submit on Google Form, you have the option to submit here. But like I said, if you submit on GC, you don't have to submit on Google Form. Jangan submit dua-dua tempat. Okay. All right. Okay. So any questions, any more questions? I think that answers your question, Ikwan. Okay. Any more questions? All right. Okay. So if no more questions, okay. So later on, I will post the link, okay, to submit. Okay. But like I said, I'm not going to ask you to submit the slides by today. I'm not that cruel. So I'm going to set a due date. And I will tell you guys in the Telegram group sebab I tak decide lagi. Okay, and the PowerPoint just now, hopefully no one was taking notes or anything because I will post the PowerPoint slide also in the group afterwards. Okay, all right. So if no more questions, I think I'm done for today. anything you need more clarification on, drop me a PM. And afterwards, after Google has finished processing this, the recording of this Google Meet session, I will share the video of the briefing, just in case you want to review on something, you think you missed something. All right, okay. All right, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for being here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Waalaikumsalam,
Waalaikumsalam,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you,
Waalaikumsalam.
sir.